Welcome to Animal Class.
I'm here with Beth at the Toronto Zoo, and today we're going to be meeting Niles, the Nubian goat. What can you tell us about Niles here?
Niles here, like you said, is a Nubian goat, so it's one of two domestic species that we have here at the Toronto Zoo. He lives in our kids' zoo with a couple other of his friends. We've got some Nigerian dwarf goats, as well as another Nubian. So these guys are pretty playful. They'll jump around their exhibit all the time. They love to get their scratches, so kids can come up and pet him in the kids' zoo as well, and he's pretty friendly.
And how big would you say Niles is?
Niles here is a pretty big goat. He's one of our largest, definitely. He stands about 1 meter tall and probably around 1.5 meters long. So definitely a big boy. He's only about 4 years old though, but he is fully grown. He's not going to get much bigger than this.
And how much would you say he weighs?
He weighs about 63 kilograms.
Okay, he's a big boy, yeah. He's fully grown. What about his the pattern that he has on him?
Yeah, so Niles is a pretty unique looking goat. He's got that light brown color across his whole body, but also beige spots. I think he kind of looks a little bit like a baby deer, like Bambi. A lot of people say that as well. He's also got some white spots on him on the top of his head and on his face, some white stripes down near his eyes. His ears are a much lighter color as well, and even some white near his feet too.
And talking about his ears, they're really, really long. They're probably almost a foot in length.
So yeah, they're about the size of an adult hand, and these large flat ears help them with thermoregulating. So basically, they came from a much warmer climate than we have here. So this species has developed those large ears to help control their body temperature. Having a lot of blood vessels running through their ears helps them cool that blood down because it's really close to the surface, and then that blood circulates throughout their whole body and cools them their whole body down.
And what about Niles' eyes? They're kind of they're a little unique.
Yeah, so his eyes are definitely a pretty unique thing. A lot of goats do have that, however. They have rectangular pupils, so rather than typical circular pupil, or some animals like cats have a vertical slit, these guys have a horizontal rectangle for their pupil. And the reason for that is believed to be because they are a prey species. They've got really good peripheral vision, so they can see if anything is trying to sneak up on them from behind.
And like all goats, he's very sure-footed.
Very sure-footed indeed. These guys have cloven hooves, so they've got kind of two parts to each of their hooves, and that helps them when they're jumping around on rocks or in mountainous areas. Basically, it gives them really good grip and allows them to kind of climb around even very small little ledges.
His tail is actually quite short too, right?
Yeah, these guys don't have very long tail. It's only maybe 3 or 4 inches long. But one of the things that's kind of unique about them is you can use the tail to help tell the difference between a goat and a sheep. Goats usually will have tails that they usually hold upwards, whereas sheep tend to have longer tails that will hang down.
Goats were typically bred back in the day. What were they domesticated for?
So goats are all over the world. They're used for meat and dairy production. So the Nubian goat is no exception. They are a pretty common species now that is found all over the world. They did originate in Africa. However, like I said, you can find them pretty much anywhere now, but definitely meat and in dairy production.
But you wouldn't typically find them in the wild anymore, right?
No, not the way they are, definitely not. They've been over generations of selective breeding for different traits. They've definitely created a unique creature here that you won't find in the wild.
Well, thank you very much for introducing us to Niles.
No problem.